Yeah, what's up, sports freaks? Welcome to All Sports Media Team presents Triple B 2.0, episode number 5, Champ or Chump. The reason it's called Champ or Chump this week, there's a lot of championship matches in boxing, wrestling, football, pro football, you name it. We've had championship matches this week and last week, and we're going to go over all of those. But before that, I want to give a big shout out to that instrumental right there to my boy Abraham Castaneda. You can go on Spotify, look up Abraham Castaneda. He's done work with Dragon Ball Z. He's done theme songs for them on YouTube as well. You can check out youtube.com, Abraham Castaneda. He's got some pretty sick songs on there as well. We're going to be using that for this show and probably other shows in the future. So check him out. With that said, we're going to get ahead and get started here. We got returning from our last show, my dude, George Ochola. Welcome back, sir.
What's going on? What's going on?
What it do? And making his big return to Triple B 2.0 after being gone about 2 or 3 weeks. We're so glad to have him back because we love his input. Gilbert A Ascencio is back in the house. What's up, Big G?
Yes, sir. Back and ready to talk about sports.
Bro, this week was insane. So much stuff going on right now. I'm literally looking over to the side here watching the Oklahoma-Iowa State game right now. Like I said, it's championship weekend, dude. You can't go wrong with championship weekend. With that said, man, we got so much going this week. Like I said, we got college football is championship week all week. We got a brand new champion in the MLS we're going to go over. We got in the women's NCAA, we got a coach who passed the one and only Pat Summitt. We'll talk about that as well. We got a major superstar in the WNBA who's returning for her 17th season. Who is that? Turn that off.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're fired. Boxing, there's all kinds of matches that are coming and have happened and are still to happen. Plus, the Hall of Fame has come out. You're going to want to hear that one. We had a golf champion and his son actually perform in a tournament. We had a championship, let's say, overcoming of potential, let's be real, death in college basketball. We're going to get into that as well. MMA has a lot of matches that have gone down as well. And one huge UFC name is jumping ship to Bellator. We're going to talk about that as well. We got some funny issues up in the NHL. NBA season's on its way. You know, we're going to be grilling all that. MLB has decided to include the Negro Leagues. I can't wait to talk about that with all the changes and all the statistics that are going to happen. The record books are going to go bananas, gentlemen. It's going to be crazy. NFL, same thing. Playoffs are on the way. We got a few more championships that were clinched this week. Plus, we had a historical matchup that not many people probably saw. We're going to talk about that. And, of course, we got WWE TLC on WWE Network tomorrow night. Roman Reigns against Kevin Owens, and of course the TLC match, AJ Styles against Drew McIntyre. Can't wait to see that. All right, gentlemen, enough said. Let's go ahead and roll into it. Let's start with some college football, if you're cool with that. We actually, the last 2 weeks, we talked about this girl, Sarah Fuller. Me and George actually was talking, me and Coach, and then the week before, me and George. Sarah Fuller came off of the Vanderbilt soccer team, and she was the goalie, and she was really good. Vanderbilt was like winless at the time. So Coach, I believe it was Derek Mason, brought her on as the kicker. Very first week, she made history by playing in the NCAA. Did absolutely horrible. Obviously, very first game, me and George, I think we talked about that. You know, she did really bad. But you know what? She came back last week, became the very first female to score in a Power 5 college football game. She made 2 extra points, so shout out to her. We'll get into how you feel about her and about females being in a quote-unquote male sport in a second. But before I do that, I want to let you know that we will not see her again, which kind of sucks because everybody's built up, oh, cool, Sarah Fuller's doing as good as she is, blah, blah, blah. She has decided she's done because Vandy's done. Vandy's not playing their next 2 games, maybe probably COVID-related, and the fact their record is so low. She has decided to go back to soccer, finish off her soccer career, and then she's transferring to North Texas. So, with that said, how do you feel about the fact, especially you, George, because we were just talking about this 2 weeks ago. Why are they're going to bring a girl in? Is this publicity? Like, what's going to happen? and then she gets these extra points, and now she's in the record books for the rest of her life. Like, how that's cool, you know? So what do you think about that?
Oh, well, yes, like you said, I think it is publicity, and the team was already doing bad prior to her like being there. And I think it was good for her to go back into soccer because that's like her original passion. But yeah, I mean,
But just females
it
playing
just
in,
sucks.
you know, a Power Five league in general, that's a big step. You know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, like I think with that, like it just goes to show you that women empowerment is real. You know, women
Hmm.
could do as much sporting events as men do.
Absolutely.
So yes, it's unique. Yes, like there's gonna be like certain players that feel some type of way about her based on just because she's a girl. But I mean, as long as you got the skill set and the work ethic, for me, I don't think it will matter just as long as she's doing her part to
Hmm.
help the team out.
And she did. And she was, you know, and she was like
Hmm.
the talk of the week. Gee, you're just coming back after a couple weeks off, and you know you probably were following the story during the last couple weeks. How do you feel about what Sarah Fuller did and what she is about to do? You're muted.
There we go. Sorry about that.
All good. Go for it.
Definitely gotta agree with George. It's I'm just glad to see that there's a woman playing in the football, but also like holding it down, you
Mhm.
know. And she didn't do so good the first week, but she came back and held her own this week. But at the same time, it's like, oh man, you kind of wish that she would keep on playing for another for the rest of a couple more weeks just to
Mhm.
see if she can make more history, man. But it's great. I liked it.
Yeah, it's gonna
Nice
open up.
story.
I think it's gonna open up doors for other things. You know, like we've talked to her T, and then we talked to Kaylin this week. You know, the doors are opening for females all over the place. I
Oh,
mean,
definitely, definitely.
when we finally get that first female MLB player, man, that's when everything has been broken, because MLB is so traditional. You know that's gonna be the
Oh
day
yeah.
when you know we've made it. So I'm just saying about that. So shout out to Sarah Fuller. Shout out to all female
Well,
athletes, especially the ones that are jumping into male dominated sports. You know, the ones that have like other leagues. You know, like one day maybe we'll have a female in men's college basketball or men NBA. You know, we won't need a WNBA. You know. I mean, we see some of these female ballers that we see,
Hmm.
at the VBL and at the female Drews. They're freaking beasts, man. They take guys with no problem. You know, George, you're a baller. You see it all the time.
Oh yeah, like Stefania, Bree Green, like those are some
Mhm.
great basketball players. But let's remember they're also YouTubers too. So they take pride in like putting their skill set in basketball on YouTube, just so
Uh-huh.
like they could show the world that it's not just about like
Mhm.
basketball is not just a male dominant sport.
Mhm.
It's also like a women's dominant sport,
Absolutely.
and they're just as good. And that's what they're trying to convey in this world that we live in today.
Absolutely. Um, from there, we're talking about a girl who's using her shoe to kick and get some pretty good kicks in. Did you hear about the LSU Florida game last week? LSU, Florida should have won. They had the lead. There was only a couple minutes left in the game, and I don't know what had happened. Florida made a tackle. And I don't know, this guy just lost his ish and he got mad and he literally chucked the LSU player's cleat like 10 yards, 15 yards down. Gets a freaking
wow.
personal foul penalty. LSU ends up scoring. LSU upsetted number at time, I think it was number 4 Florida. They're number 6 now, number 6 Florida. So like, does that? I mean, the attitude alone, like that kid should have been not only. I don't think he should have been flagged. I think he should have been tossed. Personally, what do you think, G?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Because if you throw anything like
Mhm.
at a player or on the court or whatever, yes, of course you should be ejected
Yeah, but he
because
didn't. That's
that's
crazy.
Yeah, and he didn't, but he deserved to be ejected because you're not so like. Why would you throw something and then it's like you just get away with it?
But it's so
And like,
dumb.
I don't think the referees did a good job of handling that situation. Get him ejected, let him serve that penalty, and let him get penalized, and
It's
then move
so
on from
dumb,
it.
though.
But they
And
didn't, which is
they were
crazy.
winning. They were on their way to being in the top 4 rankings of the playoffs, like, and then you go off and do something stupid like that. Gilbert, if you saw something like that, if you were a coach and your player did that, what do you do? Especially if you end up being in the playoffs. Like, do you let him play?
I was about to say, if I was his coach or teammate, I would be mad at him because that's a
It costed him
careless
the
act.
game. It costed him the
You
freaking
cost the
game.
game.
Oh,
You gotta. It's not about yourself. You gotta think about the whole team.
Mhm.
And you're not only affecting yourself, you're affecting the whole team. And that's a part of the example right there. They lost the whole game because of that action that he decided to take.
Yeah.
So if I was the coach, I'll keep him out the next game.
I agree.
So I can think about what he said, what he did wrong.
I
It was
I
stupid.
think Yeah, I think for me, I'll suspend them 2 games max, only because like one you check the shoe, and then one you cost our
Mhm.
team the game because of your careless act,
Uh-huh.
and you can't like do some unnecessary things for them to like cost them the game, and you're
Mhm.
going into the playoffs, and you don't want to get into the playoffs with you don't want to
Well,
get into the playoffs with the losing
he might have
game.
he might have costed them a playoff spot because in college, we'll get into this in a second. College football only has 4 slots, and Florida was right there,
Yeah.
and now Florida's at 6 because they lost to LSU.
Oh, I would have definitely
Oh,
suspended him for
and
2 games.
I would have been livid. I bet you this coach had to deal with this once or twice in his life. University of Auburn coach, you guys probably know this, Coach Malzahn. He even coached Cam Newton at one point. Bro, they let go of Coach Malzahn after 6 years. This guy's been to national title games. He's won SEC titles. He won that. Oh, what was that one game? I swear, I think Alabama did tried to do a field goal and it was short, and then Auburn ran it all the way back 99 yards for a touchdown. You remember that game, Gilbert? I think it was years ago. I think that's when Cam was still there. Yeah, but they're letting him go. He's getting a nice little surplus on his way out, but it still sucks that they're letting all these legends go slowly but surely. What do you think, Gilbert, about this, like,
Hmm.
letting a legendary coach like Coach Malzahn go?
Man, it sucks to see a great coach go. When Lakers had Phil Jackson and then he had to go because of health issues. Just sucks seeing him go. But it is what it is. Hopefully, he could find another team and make more history there.
Yeah,
You
man.
know.
What do you think, George, about that situation?
I mean, I agree with GA. Hopefully, like whatever job he has, like he'll make like another historical, his historic. He'll make history with another team, but it
Uh-huh.
just sucks that like you let like a legendary like that go. It's just, man,
A lot of
like
history.
I just feel for him.
A lot
That's
of
all I gotta
history.
say.
All right, since we're talking history, gentlemen, I despise the BCS. Remember the old BCS where you're going to this bowl, you're going to this bowl, and all they did was rank the teams. They never had a playoff, nothing. It was okay, you're number 1, you're number 2, you guys are going for the championship. That's all it was for years. I mean, like the years that USC had to share a championship before. Like I still remember that. There's rumors, God help us if they're true, that there's some owners that want to go back to the BCS. Gilbert, dude, no. What do you think?
Oh man, it's just that whole situation's a mess, man.
Yeah,
Just
it is.
I don't even know where to start from, but yeah, exactly. What you said earlier, I still remember when USC had to do all that share, and I don't know, man. I just feel like they would I balance it out, you know.
Mhm.
I would just feel like they should have their own setup in a way where everything plays out right.
They
I
haven't
just really
used
don't know how to go
they
from there.
haven't they haven't used the BCS in years. Thank God, because that was the dumbest thing ever. With that said, on the flip side, George, there's also rumors, which I think they should do. Currently, they have top 4. Top 4 goes to the playoffs. They play on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day,
Mhm.
whatever they play, and then the championship's like the next week or something like
I
that.
think it was New Year's Day.
Yeah, this year that's all it is.
Mhm.
But usually there's like 20,000 bowls and then those. You know, currently there's 4 teams.
Mhm.
There is rumors of expansion, of playoff expansion. What would you expand? This is college football, hundreds of teams, huge names. I mean, like right now, if you looked at the top 5, you got Texas A&M, Ohio State, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Alabama. But right behind them, you got people like Florida, Cincinnati, schools like killer schools that are doing super good right now, and they
Mhm.
wouldn't be in the playoffs. So what is the magic number, George? What's the magic number for a playoff bracket?
I think for a playoff bracket, maybe 8, maybe 8 for the max. Only because like you said, there's like so many teams are that good, but it's just unfortunate that only 4 teams are going to be in it. But I think 8 will be fun because like then that raises up the competitiveness on like what we see in NCAA football, and that's what everyone wants
Mm-hmm.
to see.
Yeah.
Like yes, there's like 8 good teams, but there's only 4, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
I think 8 is that magic number for me.
I gotta agree with you on that. Just like what baseball did this year. Gilbert, you were saying
I
something.
got to
Mhm.
piggyback on that. Yeah, definitely. There's too many good teams out there. Only for 4 of them just to go out there and compete. Definitely gotta give more options to other teams so they could play too.
Yeah.
Exactly. You just got to show them the love on how good they played. Like,
Mhm.
look at, like, for example, like, not to go off topic, look at the Phoenix Suns in the bubble. They went
Yep.
undefeated in the bubble. And I think because you go undefeated in the bubble, I think, like, for them, I think they deserve some type of playoff recognition only because of how they did in the bubble. So I
Yeah,
think with that, like, I think, like, NCAA should look at that and try to see what they could do to implement that situation.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. We got about 3 minutes left. Okay, so with that said, though, there's always, regardless of rankings, regardless of bowls, there's always gonna be the division title games. Pac-12, Big Ten, Big 12, ACC, and SEC are your main ones. So I mean, they have the MAC title and the Mountain West title, which Boise State always wins. Those ones. But the main ones are the ones that I just went over. Freaking Pac-12 game. Freaking Oregon. All right.
Yeah.
I'm pissed because A, I'm a Trojans fan. B, we weren't even supposed to play Oregon. We were scheduled to play Washington. But due to COVID restrictions and the issues with their team, they had to bow out, which then sent Oregon our way, which I'm not making excuses. But if you see, okay, hey, we're playing Washington, 2 weeks in, or even a weekend, you're playing for Washington, and then bam, they bring in the ringer. You play Oregon, your whole game plan's thrown off, And I think that's what happened to Keenan Slovis because bro had 3 interceptions. It was a very sloppy game. SC was lucky it was as close as it was, but freaking Oregon, I'm not going to say congratulations. You guys can say congratulations to them. But Oregon is your Pac-12 champion. How do you feel about the situation, the fact that Washington couldn't be there? Oregon jumps in, and then they walk away with the title. George, talk to me.
I mean, it's just unfortunate for USC only because like they prepared like their I guess at least a week for Washington, but then it's just unfortunate last minute like or they have to play Oregon. So I think with that type of situation, I think they should get at least a week for them to like prepare for Oregon if that was the case because like the way all this came out, like like you said, like USC
like
is
2 days or
lucky
whatever.
not
Yeah.
to get. Exactly, because they need some time to prepare because like with that, like that threw the whole game plan off and I think that's what happened and that's how USC lost that game.
It was sloppy. I mean, Gilbert, I don't
It
know
was
if you
real
saw the game,
sloppy.
but do you feel the same way?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm going to go on a different path. With this one, it's just the whole COVID, man. It's just really affecting everything, and this is another example. Now SC had to play another team because the other team couldn't play, and on top of that, they didn't have enough time to prepare to play this.
It's a mental thing.
Exactly, and it's a mental game. Like you gotta prepare yourself physically, but not only that, mentally. And they got the best of them at this game, and it happened to be a big game. So
it hurt, man. It hurt to watch. I threw stuff at my TV. So, but with that said, though, there's probably a couple people at University of Northwestern and at Iowa State that probably threw stuff at their TV as well. As a Big Ten title game just ended, I was actually talking to George as it was ending. Big Ten title game is over. Ohio State, as expected, they come out on top on Northwestern, so they're more than likely to be in the top 4 for the playoffs. So look to see them. Oklahoma took out Iowa State in the Big 12 title game. I don't see Oklahoma being in the top 4, but they might be in the top 10. So we still got 2 more huge games. The big ones are tonight. You got ACC title, number 3 Clemson taking on number 2 Notre Dame.
No, that's
going to be a
great
great game. Actually, it's on right now as we speak on ABC. And then the big boy is tonight, SEC title, number 6 Florida, number 1 Alabama. That's at 5:00. I guarantee you, whoever wins that one is in the playoffs. Oh hell no! Mute him! Mute him now!
I'm messing. I always want to say that, but that's not really my team. But I always like to say that though.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Let me clear that up.
So
I gotta clear that up real quick.
Yeah. So like I said with the rankings earlier, gentlemen, it's Texas A&M. They also won their game against Tennessee today, and they were ranked number 5 going into today, so they might boot up. Texas A&M at 5, Ohio State at 4, Clemson and Notre Dame at 3 and 2. One of them is going to drop, and then Alabama at 1. Going into today, some kind of history is going to be made. That's all I got to say. Let's talk about the history that was made in Seattle this past week. I can't believe this happened. Coach called it. He said that these guys were going to win. Let's jump into the MLS. Did we lose G? G.
I
think
you
want
want
to
to
hear
get
this.
something.
All right, so we'll jump into the MLS. And this team, the Columbus Crew, they've only been around a couple years. And they just dethroned the 2-time defending MLS Cup champion Seattle Sounders. Not only did they defeat them, they shut them out 3-0. At home. Their home.
Oh, wow.
So talk about making a statement, right? What do you think on that, Gilbert? Big statement.
Weren't we talking about like Seattle teams not too long ago?
Yep.
And
Yep.
on how
The Seattle
was
lost.
a top.
Wow. Bad. They lost 3-0 in their own home. In the Columbus Crew, bro.
Hey, sometimes the other team gets the best of that team, man.
It's that underdog
Happens.
story. Right, George? Got that underdog thing going.
Yeah, like there's a lot of underdog teams that are coming out, so that just goes to show you that games are just that competitive.
Mm-hmm. I know I picked Seattle. Coach picked Columbus, so he was on. He knew. Crazy. So there was history made in Seattle. There was also history made up north. Actually, I don't know if it was up north because I don't think Stanford's allowed to be playing right now in where they are. But the Stanford Lady Cardinals head coach Tara Vanderveer actually reaches and passes over the summit. What do I mean by that? I kind of mentioned this in our interview with Kalen on All Sports Media Team Presents Double Dribble, episode 29, Diamond and Small Packages. Check it out on YouTube at 3 o'clock. It will premiere. Coach Vanderveer got her 1,099th career victory. That's insanity. And she passes the late, great Hall of Fame coach Pat Summitt. You know WNBA. You know NCAA women. George, talk to me. This is awesome.
Wow, that's a huge accomplishment. Congratulations. And yeah, that shows how great she is.
And it's
That's all
crazy.
I gotta say.
I guess Pat Summitt was one of her mentors, which makes it even better. And she's still got more games under her belt to come.
And
she's not done.
Didn't she coach Candace Parker? Was that Pat Summitt?
Tennessee.
Pat Summitt?
Yeah, Pat Summitt did.
Oh, okay.
No,
Just
Coach
wanted to
Vanderveer
clear that
is Stanford, University of Stanford.
Okay.
What do you think, Gilbert?
All right.
About Pat Summitt finally getting passed?
More history, man. That's like, wow. Like, for her to win so many games, that's just off the books, off the charts.
Pat
just
Summitt,
gotta
Pat Summitt is like the Popovich of college women's basketball, and Vanderveer just passed her.
Yeah.
There's not.
Definitely. Wow.
Yeah, you put it in those terms, and it's just crazy to think about this awesome lady. Speaking of awesome ladies, we mentioned this one as well on our episode with Kaylin Brown, Double Dribble, episode 29. Diana Taurasi coming back.
Oh, yeah.
17th year in the WNBA. She's playing for the Mercury again, I believe. We talked about it. Shout out to her. Obviously, first ballot Hall of Famer as soon as she hangs it up. I think she's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I could see her being a coach in the future.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What do you see, George? What do you see Miss Diana Taurasi doing in the next couple of years?
I think she'll be a great coach after it's all said and done. She's been like a great she has been like a great WNBA player for a very long time, and yeah, like going into her 17th year, like that goes to shows how much of a dedication she puts into basketball and puts into her body, because like as you can see, her body of work is off the charts because she works so hard, and I think is that she's definitely one of the girls in the WNBA that has that Mamba mentality of working hard, and like she's gonna be remembered after it's all said and done.
Gilbert?
Definitely. Yes, for me, man, like it seems like she's been in the league for so long, but when I think of her, I think of her like as one of the first players to like make a name in the WNBA. What I mean by that, like, the WNBA wasn't really. What was that?
The originals, yeah.
Yeah, one of the originals, exactly. And yeah, when she decides to hang it up, man, like I think her name's gonna be submitted into the WNBA, and I also think that she's gonna be a great coach if she decides to take that route.
I got
just by the way.
Yeah, it's gonna be. She's walking to the Hall of Fame easily. Who do you think? Yeah. You guys are my basketball guys. Who do you think? They don't have an official logo for the WNBA, like a player. They have a logo, but it's not based off of anybody that I know of. If they said, "Hey, next season we're gonna base the logo off of this WNBA player," George, who do you pick and why?
Like who should be on the WNBA logo?
Lisa. Like, are you gonna put Brianna? Are you gonna put Sue? Are you gonna put Diana? Like, they're all so damn good.
That's a very great question, because there's like at least like 4 different players I'll pick in the logo.
Yeah.
Like 2 of my top will probably be Lisa Leslie and
there's so many.
Sue Bird.
Oh yeah, Sue Bird, Teresa
because
Weatherspoon,
of
Maya.
Because they won championships. They won multiple championships. They played at the highest level. So like I think with that, like that in itself like should deserve to be on that logo.
I think Lisa Leslie's hook shot, that'd be a pretty sweet logo.
I think Lisa Leslie's hook shot too would probably be my number 1.
What do you think, Gilbert? What would you do?
I definitely agree. Lisa Leslie, for me, not only because she won so many championships at the beginning of her career, but just because I believe she was the first WNBA player to dunk in the game.
That was true.
Yes.
That was pretty cool. I remember that day.
But there's so many players out there that you could put, like Diana Taurasi. We just talked about her. She's the GOAT as well. Maya Moore now.
Maya Moore, Teresa Weatherspoon. Oh yeah.
Tamika Catching.
Oh my God, there's so many. There's so
Sky, that's her name.
Yeah.
She's a good player too.
There's a bunch, man. It's so cool to see women kicking so much ass, right? It's just, like we said, women empowerment. These women are freaking kicking ass. Speaking of kicking ass, let's hit the boxing ring. All right. There's a lot of cool stuff going down in boxing right now. Okay, so way back when Oscar De La Hoya just originally had bought Dazin.
Nate Robinson's not doing another fight, is she?
Yeah, I don't think she is.
Nate Robinson's not doing another fight, is he?
Oh God, no.
Not
yet.
I meant to say
but there's some intriguing fights coming. So last week Anthony Joshua, if you remember, he
Okay.
fought Canelo way back when Dazn first came out. But Anthony Joshua is a heavyweight champion. He beat, his match against Kubrat Pulev. As soon as he won, he called out Tyson Fury, who's also another undisputed champion as well. So the WBO and the WBC came out and said, okay, if you guys want to fight, that's fine, but you got to drop your belts because they have mandatory title defenses that they have to do. So both of them have agreed to do that so that they can face off. So either A, they really hate each other, B, WBO is looking for some big bucks and quick, or C, I don't know. Why would you want to? You've had this title for so long. It doesn't make you like Gilbert? Why would they want to drop their titles just so they can face each other? They must really not like each other.
Well, you just said it, so they could face each other. They must hate each other that much that they just want to get in the ring and square it off, man. That I guess their belts don't mean nothing to them at this point because they're willing to drop their belts and get in the ring and go at it. That has to say it right there. They just want to go at it, man.
Championships are so hard to come by, and if you're just gonna, hey, I'll drop it to go fight this guy, like, would you do that, George? Like, championship, a world championship.
Oh shoot! Yeah, if someone called me out, oh heck yeah, I'll try to fight, man.
Drop your belt
because
though?
like now, like, well,
You have to drop the
maybe
belt.
not
That's the
drop
only
my
way.
belt.
Well, he doesn't have a choice.
Yeah,
Drop the belts.
you know what? I'll drop the belt and then I'll because I'll be that confident guy that takes it so personal. Okay, this is personal because like someone just called me out. Like I gotta beat this guy just so like I'm gonna put myself in the record books. Like I could say like, hey, I beat this guy at the highest level, and when it's all said and done. So yeah, I'll definitely take that fight, but I'm not gonna get knocked out like Robinson did.
That's gonna be a hell of a fight though between two heavyweights. He's not gonna drop it.
I would love to see that though.
Another two guys that somehow they're always intertwined somehow is Triple G and Canelo. We all remember their Triple G Canelo fight a few years ago.
Yes.
Triple G fought yesterday. He had his match, and he beat Sesmita in the 7th round to retain the IBF middleweight title. So he's victorious. Canelo makes his big return debut tonight, and he takes on Smith. And then there's rumors that these two want to go at it again. Past battles. Do you guys not like each other? Is the publicity so damn good that they want to put it together? What do you think, Gilbert? What are we doing here?
No, let's do it, man. I've been waiting for this fight since the first one, man. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Go ahead, George. What you got?
Yeah, let's do it. Like what GA said, all cards on deck. Let's make it happen. Let's let's show the world, some entertainment. So I mean, yeah, why not do it?
So funny that you use that word. Oh my God, because get this. Okay, before I jump into it, actually, you know what? I'm gonna do it backwards. Okay. So you say entertainment. Jake Paul, this dumbass YouTuber, he knocks out. He thinks he's a shit now because he knocked out Nate.
Nate's not really a boxer,
bro. He challenged Money. Money accepted, and it's official. Money's gonna beat the crap out of Jake Paul, and you know what? People are gonna pay to see it. I know I am.
I know I am.
Can't wait to see that. Idiot.
Oh, man.
God, over under. Does Jake Paul last 2 rounds?
Hell no. He doesn't. Come on now. We're talking about Money Mayweather.
Gonna knock him out. What do you think, Gilbert? Same shit?
Oh my gosh. I'll put all my money on Mayweather.
Oh yeah.
I'll be surprised if he does survive 2 rounds, man.
Freaking idiot, man. I mean, he gets off by getting his ass kicked and being stupid. Well, he's a YouTuber. I mean, says the guys that are putting stuff on YouTube. But you know what I mean. But it's freaking crazy. So since we're talking about Mayweather, it's a long overdue if you ask me. I know Coach doesn't like him, but hey, we all got our peeps. Hall of Fame 2020. which has always got an asterisk next to it because you never know when we're gonna actually see them. Vladimir Klesko,
Mhm.
Layla Ali, which I'm super happy about, and Floyd Money Mayweather. What do you think about that class, George?
I love it. I love that class. Those are the undisputed fighters that we saw throughout their careers, and yeah, I like that list right there.
What you got, Gil?
Yeah, definitely. The women, man. The women
Oh,
are
Layla's a
all over the
beast.
place.
Yeah,
Just-
women are taking
Layla
over.
Ali,
Well, she's an Ali, man. Come
woo
on, she's an Ali.
don't
Yeah.
mess with her.
She's in for
Def-
sure.
Love the list.
Yeah, so she can swing. She can swing it pretty good. We'll leave it at that. Talking about swinging, let's hit some golf real quick. Not literally, because I absolutely suck at golf. But Tiger Woods. I don't know if you guys saw Tiger Woods and his son Charlie. I'm not sure how old Charlie is. He's probably like, from what I see, he looks like he's like 8, 9, something like that. Anywho, they played together officially. I don't know if it was like a dad-son tournament or whatever it was, but it was at the
Mhm.
PNC Championship. So this is like an official pro event. So Charlie
Mhm.
Woods has played in a PNC Championship like before the age of 13. Is this because of privilege, or do you think he's actually that good? From the shots that they've taken, he's got a pretty good swing. So do we have a prodigy or do we have privilege? What do you think, Gilbert? I see you smiling.
Um, that's hard. See, that's hard to tell, man, because like it could run in the family. He could have that swing too. But at the same time, like people are gonna say, "Oh, it's a privilege because that's Tiger Woods' son,"
Mm-hmm.
And
But like we just said with Layla, if they earn it, they earn it. Someday he might
exactly.
go to the
So
Masters.
if if he could hold his own and maybe be as great as his dad, then all respect to him.
What about you, George? What do you think?
Maybe it's somewhat of, yeah, I mean, maybe it's somewhat of a little bit of a privilege, but you know what, like I think he wanted to play golf when he was younger just so he could be like his dad. And you could tell that he got all this training from his dad and he wants to implement it in his game. So
Mm-hmm.
during like the near futures, like he could be just as good as his dad, if
Mm-hmm.
not better.
We'll see. It's gonna be. It must have been an emotional moment, I think, for just Tiger to be able to see. I mean, as a father, seeing your son on a pro am, dude, that would be freaking crazy. It'd be really, really
Mhm.
emotional.
Oh, definitely, especially at a young age too, man.
Oh yeah,
He's doing all that age, so that's
exactly.
more crazy.
It is crazy. We're talking emotions. We got a couple more emotional stories. We're gonna jump on the female side really quick. Amy Olsen, she was in the women's U.S. Open last week, and she did what a lot of other players have done. We've seen stories where people's kids have died, where their fathers have died. Brett Favre game, stuff like that. Amy Olsen's
Mhm.
father-in-law died, and I believe that day she had to go play the U.S. Open, and she got second place. So my question is, do you think emotions can drive people to go above and beyond when there's a death in the family? When you think about all these things that have happened, the guy on the Niners when his baby died, Brett Favre when his dad died, and then this situation right here, Gilbert. What do you think? Do you think the emotions push him like that much harder?
Oh, definitely. I believe when a situation, unfortunately, like that happens, I believe players take their aggression or sadness out on that field or out on the court, and they just let it all out, and they just happen to have a better game than usual. And yeah, it's crazy because I feel like you have to let it out, man. And sports is definitely a sport. Sports are definitely a way to let your
You're stressed
let
out.
Psyche, yeah.
your stress out, that sadness out, and everything.
Yeah. Especially a sport like
Yeah,
golf
I agree
creates a
with you,
thinking
GA.
game. Go ahead, George.
Oh, mental game, definitely mental game.
Yeah, I think like you could take your aggression out and you try to play better, but then like at the same time you have that heavy heart. So like a lot of times it's kind of hard to play a game with a heavy heart rate, only because about like you heard of death in the family, and it's tough. It's tough to be in that type of situation where you really have to play that game, but then like at the same time, it's like that someone else is. It's like that someone has a death in the family. Like I guess like a lot of players, like certain players, won't play that game based on like what happened in terms of death issues, but some people could, I guess, handle it. Some people cannot. So, I mean, it's just crazy on like what happens in sports, especially during this pandemic.
Oh yeah,
People
Definitely.
dying because of
definitely. People
COVID
are
and
already
stuff.
emotional. Now I'm freaking.
Oh, Carl Town, man.
Oh, I
He
feel
lost
so
so
bad
much
for him.
family due to
7,
COVID.
7.
Yeah,
That's insanity.
yeah,
That's ridiculous. If that doesn't go
sucks, man.
through, I don't know what does. Okay, we're gonna go one more emotional story, and then we'll try to lighten it up a little bit. NCAA basketball. We talked about this last week. Me and Coach Keontae Johnson, University of Florida. I think he went for a was a layup or alley oop. He went for alley oop during warm ups. Was
Hmm.
walking back to the bench and passed out. Just done, down. And he's young.
Oh.
He was a young kid, 20-something-year-old kid. I don't know if you heard the story. They took him to the hospital. Massive heart issues. Had to be placed into a medically induced coma. So University of Florida decided to finish that game. They had the choice of finishing or not finishing. They wanted to finish. They ended up losing, but they finished. Um, Before I get into what happened with Keontae, how do you think your guy just went down? Your guy's going to the hospital, possibly dying. What's your mindset as a coach, Gilbert?
Oh man, if that was me, my mind would be everywhere, man. Because you're only that you got to deal with so much emotions from the other players
Mm-hmm.
and how they feel. You got to carry them. Got to keep on carrying them to the finish line, and because I'm pretty sure the other players were thinking about their teammates, their brother, and I and I know they got the loss, but I'm pretty sure it was affecting them throughout the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So if that was me, I mean,
Yeah,
I would have had to deal with everybody's emotions,
yeah, it would have been hard for me to
try to
play
balance it
something
out.
like that. George, would you be able to play after seeing something like that? It happened on their bench, like right next to where they all were.
No, because that's a teammate, that's a brother, that's everybody, that's who you love on your team. Like if someone like if that was me and my brother went down like that, I wouldn't want to continue that game only because of the emotional sleeve I had to wear throughout that game.
Mm-hmm.
And until that blows over, I'm not gonna because like it's more like the game is the game, but if you lose somebody, that means a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I continue the game knowing that my brother could be dying? Like he could be
Exactly.
dying while we play that game. So for me, I personally wouldn't want to continue that game because like I care for my brother way too much. Like my parents always taught me like whatever, no matter what, family first.
Uh-huh.
So he's technically part of that team family. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, for me, I wouldn't want to
It
continue that game.
is would have been really
Definitely.
difficult for me. I've been through times where I've had family members and I had to go and do something that die or were really sick and I had to go and play. It's not easy. Okay, so update. It took a few days. He was in a medically induced coma. He is up. He is coherent. He has been FaceTiming his teammates, FaceTiming his family. So thank God for this young man. Hopefully, we'll get to see him back on the court soon. However, the University of Florida is still going, like we just said, going through the trauma. They have decided not to play their next 3 games. I don't know if they're divisional games. They're against a bunch of Florida teams. So they've canceled all 3 of those games. As a coach, do you think that's a good move or do you think that's a move that's going to hurt you? What do you think, George?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I want to say it's a good move, but then again, it is costing you some games only because of like what's at stake. But yeah, that's a tough question. But if anything, probably. I'll probably because like what the situation is, like I'll probably play those 3 games, but it's a hard question to answer.
Yeah, they got counselors there and everything. Like, it's crazy. What do you think, Gilbert? Would you play the 3 games or would you drop them?
Well, I mean, for me, it just depends if those 3 games are important for you to make it into the playoffs, or if those 3 games mean something,
Well, it seems like it
then yeah.
doesn't. So it seems like it really doesn't. I know it was a couple lower ranked teams. So, I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's any sport, but especially a team sport like basketball. Like, you look over
Oh,
and
yeah,
your brother's not
definitely.
there, it's freaking impossible.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's real quick we'll get the rankings. These haven't it changed a little bit since we last talked. Top 5 got Kansas, Michigan State. All these names look like they should be there. Iowa, which is surprising to me. Baylor and Gonzaga. Gonzaga still at the number 1. Do we see Gonzaga dropping ever this season, George?
Oh, they're for real, Ricky. They're really for real. No, I don't see them dropping. They're playing pretty good basketball right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if they make it all the way to the national championship.
I'd be okay
So
with that.
I would pick Gonzaga to win. And one of my friends' girlfriends went to Gonzaga. So
There you
yeah,
go.
Gonzaga's for real.
Cool. Gilbert, what do you think about that? Those 5 right there. Kansas, Michigan State, Iowa, Baylor, and
Oh
Gonzaga.
man, those are all good teams, man. But for me, it either has to be Kansas or Michigan State, man. I like those teams,
No, they're
and
still in the
I
top
know
5.
they're down, but I think they can make something happen once they're in there, man.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of the basketball playoffs. Everybody and their mother's sister gets in. So not like football where it's only
Yeah.
4. Okay, so those guys are gonna be
Mhm.
fighting for the
Or
number 1. Oh, you got something? Pretty much, right?
no, I just want about the NFC East. Anybody could get in, man.
Sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
Bad records,
I'm not
like
going
the
there. We're not the
losing
NFL
record
yet.
division right there.
When we talk NFL, we're gonna mention the NFC East. Okay, so these guys are gonna fight for the number 1. And speaking of fighting, let's hit the octagon. You guys might hear some of these people. Last week there was a flyweight fight, a big one actually. Davison Figueroa, very popular name in the UFC, taking on Brandon Morrow and Moreno. I'm sorry, not Morrow. Morrow is a baseball player. Moreno. They actually went the distance and they had a draw. You don't see draws very often in the UFC. This is only the 4th ever draw in UFC. So that means A, this match must have been very technical. B, these guys knew each other. And C, just one hell of a fight. Like, these guys knew what they were doing. And to get a draw in UFC, it's very rare. Like I said, what do you think? Would you, being Dana White, would you allow them to have a draw, George? Do you want a draw or do you want a winner? Because now, let me
No, I
before
want.
you answer, yeah. But before you answer, think if you have that draw, you need that rematch. That money's gonna come in.
Oh,
Now answer my
say that.
Okay, now you made that question even tougher.
question.
No, I think I want the winner, man. Like with despite of all the circumstances that you just mentioned, like no one doesn't want to end this fight with a draw. But because because of COVID reasons, who knows when that next rematch is gonna be at. So I rather find the winner now than later. So
Very
yes,
good
I
point.
know money's gonna come in and stuff, but
That's a really
I
good
want the
point.
winner.
What do you think, Gilbert? You on the same page?
Oh, for me, no, definitely got to get the rematch. If you can't figure out a winner in the first match, just do the rematch, and we'll figure it out then, and that's more money coming into the UFC, so doesn't hurt, doesn't hurt at all.
But even with what George was saying, you never know when you're going to get that fight unless he goes to that island that he has or whatever. They've been doing a lot of fights in Vegas too, in LA, which is funny because I don't know how they're doing in LA, but Vegas for sure. So
Or the hot spot, right?
yeah, we got a lot of big name news in MMA. Max Holloway is returning It's been a while since he's been in the octagon, and he wants to take on Alexander Volkovsky. That's another huge name in the UFC, so another big fight coming. Rose Namajunas, one of the smallest girls in the UFC, but that chick can throw, bro. So there's rumors, I guess, from Dana White and his camp that Rose didn't want a shot at the strawweight title, which shook me because I'm like, why would you fight if you don't want a shot at your weight division title? That makes no sense to me. So Rose comes out and pretty much sets him straight and says, like, what the hell? Are you freaking kidding me? I want that title now. So knowing who Rose Namajunas, do you both know, you know who Rose Namajunas is? Work with me.
Never heard of her.
How dare you? Okay, well, she's one of the smallest people in all of UFC. She's a strawweight, but she's a badass. Like did she fight Amanda Nunes? I think she fought Amanda Nunes one time. Anyway, so eyeing that. So with you guys not knowing who she is, I'm gonna flip this around a little bit. Being a promoter like Dana White, why would you throw one of your biggest names under the bus like that? Is he trying to build for something else? Gilbert, what do you think?
Knowing what type of guy Dana White is, I think he is trying to build something bigger than what it is. And I don't know. I think it's money, man. It's just all about the money when it comes to Dana White.
That's so true, though. You think the same thing, George? Same feelings?
Yeah, I concur with what GA said. You know, it's all about the money, and he is building something in the future. Because, like, why would you throw, like you said, why would you throw somebody under the bus like that and then, like, not have a plan after that? It just makes no sense to me. So, like, I think he is building something in the future that could, like, get all the media's attention.
Yeah, but he's got to be careful doing that because if Namajunas doesn't like it, she can be like, screw that, and tear up her contract and head over to the rival, you know, kind of like what Yoel Romero is doing. Yoel Romero, another huge name in UFC, not anymore, heading to rival Bellator. That's like the biggest slap in the face to Dana White. So how do you think Dana White feels? You know, first off, we just talked about Rose, but now one of his biggest names is hopping over to Bellator. How do you think he's feeling right now? George, what do you think? He just lost one of his biggest superstars to the rival. It's like a Dodger going to a Giant, you know? A Laker going to a Celtic. Like,
it's like all the.
Well, that's devastating because, like, now it's like, okay, do you really want this? Like, you must really want this smoke against me. So, you know what? You could do whatever you want, but you know what? Once I see you, I'm going to make sure, like, I'm going to give you nightmares and stuff. So that's how I feel about that situation.
Absolutely. Well,
so like, we're no longer friends. We're just competitors and we don't like each other.
And Bellator doesn't fight UFC, I think. They fight ratings. And nothing hurts a promoter more than ratings going down. So it's going to be crazy. Let's see. Go ahead, Gilbert. You had something?
That definitely reminds me of the Monday Night Wars, man.
Oh, yeah. Raw, Nitro, and Raw. Well, they have the Wednesday Night War now, NXT and AEW, so, which has been pretty cool. AEW smoked them by like 60,000 or 600,000 this week. It was insanity.
Sting is back, man.
Yeah,
He's back.
Because Sting's back, yeah. AEW's a beast. Okay, check this. Speaking of older guys coming back, good job, Gilbert. Hockey. We're going to jump to the NHL real quick. Jaromir Jagr. This dude's never going to retire. Okay, he's not in the NHL anymore. However, at the age of 48, he is still set to play in the Czech Republic. And I believe he's a winger, so he gets hit a lot. 48, George.
Oh, man.
In hockey.
That's like you're almost going through your midlife crisis.
Hockey. And in hockey.
And in hockey too. Man, I don't know, man. If I was a fan of him, I'll be kind of scared.
It's not like he doesn't know how to do it. It's just your body doesn't stand up in hockey. What do you think, Gilbert?
He's definitely gonna be toothless after it's all said and done.
He's already toothless. Have you seen Jaromir Jagr? Come on now. All right. This next. All right, you guys will know how I feel about this next part because I am so anti-PC. It's ridiculous. You're both minorities, though. and I'm part minority. So when you hear the story, tell me if you think this guy was, he should have did it or should not have did it. Like, he shouldn't have been forced to do this. And he's a big name goalie. Brand new Vancouver Canucks goalie, Braden Holtby. And the Canucks, they have the orca, the Native American orca is their logo with the big C. That's their logo because it's the Northwestern tribes and all that stuff. That's what it's known for.
Okay.
So that's the Canucks. Actually, Canuck means Canadian, but that's their thing. Braden Holtby had this super cool helmet because goalies get to decorate their helmets and stuff, and he had a Native American Thunderbird, and he was going to wear that. I guess he showed it off. People didn't like it, so he actually made a public apology for it. It's not even season yet. Would you apologize? It's a Thunderbird. You're on the Canucks, bro. That's our theme. Like, this whole Indian thing's getting on my nerves, and we're going to talk about that in baseball in a few minutes too. Gilbert, help me here.
Oh man, I mean, like you said, the season hasn't even started. If he would have got really crapped on about the whole situation, then I would have done the apology. But if it was just people giving some feedback saying that they just didn't like it, then I still would have gone ahead and done it because that's your team's culture right there. There's nothing wrong with trying to find a way to carry some team spirit. You know what I mean? So
I hear you. And
I would that way.
Right off the bat, if there's any Native Americans viewing this on YouTube right now, we love you guys. We have nothing against Native Americans. I do this for any type of race when it comes to team names, unless they're super insulting. We talked about the Redskins. That's an insulting name. That should be gone. The Blackhawks, that should be gone. But come on, the Indians maybe. That's an iffy one. We'll get into that with MLB. But the Braves, the Warriors, we talked about this. Those are that's a compliment. But I've heard rumors I read on ESPN that they have Native Americans committing suicide because of this kind of stuff. You guys are both You guys are both minorities. Talk to me. I mean, if you had a minority named after you, would that bother you? This is becoming really deep.
It wouldn't bother me at all, but just as long as they present it the right way and just say good things about it, I don't really mind. But if they do anything offensive, then yes, then I'll be it'll raise some eyebrows a little bit. But then other than that, it doesn't really bother me.
Absolutely. Gilbert, you're Hispanic. Talk to me.
Gotta agree with George on this one. To be honest, I don't want to get into it. Never mind. But I gotta agree with George. Definitely. If it's not in an insulting way or it's not in a racist way, then I'm all for it.
Well, that's why I think the Redskins, they need to change, but they need a name. This football team thing is dumb. It's from the old times. That was their name originally, but the Blackhawks, I can see them changing very soon.
That sounds like a high school.
Yeah. The Blackhawks, the Indians, we're literally almost to MLB. We'll talk about the Indians in a minute. But like I said, the Chiefs, that would be a major compliment. Hey, we want to display your heritage that hey, look, this is their highest form of, power, to be a chief. I mean, if you got Caucasian people walking around in the stadium wearing a bunch of headdresses and stuff, I get that. Every team has banned that now. I get that. But a jersey?
Come on. That didn't be a big loss to the NFL if they had to change the Chiefs' name. I can't see the Kansas. I can't see that name. Go ahead, Ricky.
My high school was the Chiefs, and we went through the same thing. We had protesters at our football games on the field because they wanted to change our name for years. They were going to change us to the Trains because, Santa Fe Railroad, we were Santa Fe High School. So for years, we went through that crap. And I don't know. I don't want to get too into this. I don't want people call us back and hate us. But, it is what it is. There's names for everything. If you go back in time, there were some horrible names. The Astros used to be the Colt 45s. Come on. The Washington Bullets?
Yeah.
The Colt.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, they were the Colt 45s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got to get off of this before
was
we end up
bad.
spending
Yeah.
20 million years on this. From one Hall of Fame goalie to another
Mhm.
one, former New York Ranger, I say Hall of Famer goalie, now with the Washington Capitals, Hendrik Lundqvist will not be able to play this season. They said he has a major heart condition, and as a goalie, definitely you can't hit the ice with any type of heart condition with all the hits that you take,
Mhm.
all the the falls you take, and he's gonna be out the entire season. And this guy, I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer if you ask me. If you do your research on Hendrik Lundqvist. So he'll be out for the entire season because of heart.
Mhm.
Another heart issue. I mean, we got to look into this stuff. Sports needs to look into this more. What do you think, George?
Definitely.
Someone needs to look
I
into
think
it.
there should be like a committee or something that just takes care of players that have health conditions, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Speaking of committees and agreeing, NHL has come together. Guy Gilbert, you're on fire today. NHL has come together on an agreement. 56 game season. Usually have 82. 56 game season. And they're trying to push for a Canada division. I talked about this with Coach last week. They want to put all the Canada teams because of the whole COVID issue and the transferring to Canada and back. They want a Canada division. But right now, it hasn't been approved. And if it doesn't get approved, all those teams are going to have to get relocated to the U.S., kind of like the Raptors did. So it's one thing to move one team, but to move like 8, it's going to be crazy. And COVID's not messing around, bro. There's no way to put this anymore. It's crazy. Absolute freaking madness. Speaking of madness, all right, George, this is your magic time. Let's go. Madness. Season starts on the 22nd. We got the Golden State Warriors against the Brooklyn Nets, which is going to be awesome. Durant versus the Warriors. And then we got the Battle of LA. We already smoked them in the preseason. We played them twice, actually. And we
Twice. We were 4-0 last night.
Yes, we did go 4-0. But now it's the real deal. Real deal, Lakers, Clippers, and with the whole Kawhi thing going on, which we'll get into in just a little bit. How are those games going to break out? George, go first. Golden State and Brooklyn.
I think that's going to be a good game because, KD's coming back and Kyrie's coming back. The Brooklyn Nets are already a good team on paper in the East. So I think it'll be a good matchup of Kevin Durant going against his old team. So that'll raise the stakes really high because of the marquee matchups that's going to go on. And yeah, I think that's going to be a good game. And then as far as the Lakers and Clippers game, it's always going to be Battle of LA. Lakers have gotten better during the off season. It just sucks that we don't have JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard anymore because those were our shot blockers. But we do have a good skill set center in Marc Gasol that could pass the ball and he could pick and pop. So that opens lanes for LeBron James to penetrate and kick out. So I think the Lakers are going to be a great team. Once again, I mean Clippers they kind of dipped down a little bit because they lost some of their bench depth and Montrezl Harrell to us. So I mean Clippers are going to be a good team. I just don't see them. I just don't see them going. Golden State's coming back. They gotten better, and there's and the West has gotten that much better. So it's going to be hard to say oh, Clippers are going to be a good team. Yes, they're going to be a good team, but I just don't see them going far in the playoffs this upcoming season.
Gilbert, your turn. Golden State, Brooklyn, Clippers, Lakers. What you got?
All right. Well, oh man, Golden State. I'm glad that they're back, man. Well, they finally have it all together. I know Clay's not back, but they did get Wiseman. They have Curry, and Wiggins is gonna be on his upside this year. I'm telling you, and The Nets, man, the
And Kelly
Nets. They're
Oubre is
dangerous.
pretty good too. Let's not
Oubre,
forget
they got
about Kelly
Oubre.
Oubre.
Yes, sir. And the Nets, man. I'm telling you, Steve Nash, he's gonna be a great coach, and for him to have Mike D'Antoni back him up, that's gonna be a
Yeah.
great asset to the team. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, the way they're playing throughout the preseason, I like the way they've been carrying the team. I like how the team's been mashing. They look like they have the chemistry going on right now. So we'll see how that plays out throughout the whole season. Now let's get started on the Lakers and Clippers, man. Oh man, don't get me started, man. But here we go. Lakers, man, I like the pickups that we got this year, man. Dennis Schroeder, the way he's been carrying the team this preseason, looks great. He looks great. I'm sad that we didn't get to bring Rondo back, but I think Schroeder will hold it down for the team. Harold as well. He's been doing the dirty work. You know, he's been doing that dirty work, and I think he's gonna be a great asset to the team. And just THT, man. No,
That
everybody was
dude's been
sleeping.
balled out.
I like
He
him.
balled out during the preseason.
Yeah.
Last year in the bubble, he put in work when he got those minutes, and now he's showcasing what he can do throughout the preseason. And I believe this year he's gonna get those minutes, and he's gonna make something happen with that.
And then Coach Vogel said during the press conference, like he's gonna have a hard job to do because it's a good problem to have. Like you mentioned, Talon Tucker is doing well in the preseason, so he needs to find minutes for him. But at the same time, you got Dennis Schroeder and you got that bench. That bench is it's going to be a monster this season.
Yeah, it is.
And then if Kyle Kuzma could play, if Kyle Kuzma could average like around like 17 to 20 points a game, I don't see anybody in the West beating the Lakers.
The whole team is solid. The whole team is they're good, man. And Quinn Cook, everybody's sleeping on him, but he could hold it down too. And I believe if he has some minutes, then he'll do something with the team as well. But moving on to the Clippers, I believe last year was their best chance to win a championship. And the reason why I say that is because Doc Rivers was a Hall of Fame coach, you know, and they want to blame everything on the coach, but the players got to be accountable for what they did as well. And they didn't hold it down throughout the bubble. With that being said, I think Ty Lue will hold Kawhi Leonard and Paul George on check because that's what he did with LeBron when he was his coach. But at the same time, I don't think that they had the team had that chemistry going. I don't think they had that chemistry that the Lakers have. And that I think that's the first thing that they had to get together, that chemistry, man. If they don't have that chemistry, then it's not gonna work.
Not only
And that's the number. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
Go ahead, Ricky.
No, I was gonna say
just like you.
Go ahead, George. Go.
Okay. So yeah, like you said, GA. I mean, like they had chemistry issues. That's why they couldn't go to the next round because like you said, like you have Kawhi Leonard doing some load management like for no reason, and then like teammates felt some type of way about it. So like that's the number one reason why their chemistry wasn't that good. And then number two is they overlooked other teams in the playoffs, like the Denver Nuggets, because they didn't I don't think they took them that seriously enough for them to like go up that next level. And then Doc Rivers didn't even make adjustments on how to beat teams in the playoffs. So and I think Denver exposed them because they're really trying to match up with us, but they forget that you have to go through two other teams to get to us because we handled our side of the business and they didn't handle theirs, just like what Snoop Dogg said on Undisputed.
Yeah,
check that episode. It's pretty funny. I actually really enjoyed
Snoop
it.
needs to get on
But
the
then
mic. You got gigs.
Yeah, none of the less though. The Clippers and they just didn't prepare for a lot of teams because in the playoffs you have to prepare for a lot of teams no matter what that's in front of you, and that's what killed the Clippers' chances of winning a championship. And they had the deepest bench in the NBA. So like now they lost some bench depth. I just don't see them doing better than what they did last year.
I agree,
And
but
I
they
wanted
were
to
also hang on,
go
Gilbert,
ahead, Ricky.
1 second. Not only do they have that with the chemistry issues, because we got to get into some other stuff. Not only do they have the chemistry issues, but now they got the drama with Kawhi Leonard. You know, with it coming out that supposedly
Oh yeah,
the pursuit of Kawhi
Yeah.
Leonard was shady, we'll just say. You know, we'll
Oh yeah,
see
was it
what
that
punishment comes
weren't
to
they
that.
under investigation on that?
They're under investigation right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's going to affect
the
Kawhi. Is
Clippers
that going to affect the
they
team in general? Like, we'll see what happens.
they can't seem to get a break. The Clippers, man,
Nope.
like one thing after another, man. You know,
Yep.
and I mean, Jerry West is one of the greatest GMs in NBA history. I'll give him that. He put Shaq and Kobe together. He even brought KD to Golden State.
He brought he also brought Pau Gasol to the Lakers. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember
Definitely.
that. For
That's
Or
one.
Kwame Brown, and then with the
Kwame.
draft, and then like they
Cannon.
drafted Marcus Gasol
Yes,
in
sir.
Memphis.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But
So
after I saw what he said about the Lakers, about what kind of show that we were running at the time, I kind of lost respect for him just because you're a Lakers legend, and for you to say that to the team that
yep.
that
Made you.
that made you, or like, come on, man, that's something you don't say.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
disrespectful.
I totally agree. I think we need to move on because we're going to be here 2,536 years if we keep going on this. One of our local boys, one of the Ball boys, Leangelo Ball. Unfortunately, everybody was stoked. Oh, all the Ball boys are on a team. Everybody's on a team. Leangelo got released by Detroit. My question is, does somebody sign him by Tuesday? George, what do you think?
I love LiAngelo Ball. I love that he has the ability to shoot the ball. But if Detroit releases him, I just don't see him. I'm having a hard time. I just don't see him like playing for another team, because I don't know. I just don't see him, but I want him to sign it on an NBA team because 3 ball boys, that'll be a great that'll be a great story to write, but I just don't see him. Yeah, it's good marketing, but I just don't see him on another team.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Gilbert? You think he's gonna sign with someone?
I think for me it's more of if I was him, I would just try to get on a G League team. I'll try to do my best to make it on a G League team. If not, then probably go overseas for a year or so, and then try to do it again next year. Try to make it on the team.
I think he would smoke it.
Just gotta stay focused. It's been through so much,
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I mean, you got 2 of the Ball boys doing really good, and then LiAngelo got the boot. It's like LiAngelo is like the dark horse of that family. I mean, not dark horse, the black sheep of that family, because isn't he the one that got in trouble? He got in trouble at China for stealing glasses or whatever it was.
At a Louis Vuitton store.
Louis Vuitton store, yep. And they got arrested, and Trump
Mhm.
had to go get him or whatever. Yeah, I still remember that. So let's see what happens. Hopefully he'll get paid by someone. If not, just a little mini deal. Unlike what Giannis got, Mr. Big Bucks staying with the Bucks. 5 years, what was it, 228.2. Deservingly so, if you ask me.
That's a super max right there.
Super max. I
That's good for the NBA though.
Yeah, but you heard what he said though when he signed. He's like, it's a respect thing. I wanted to give back the respect that I was given, and a lot of players don't say that. So I thought that was super cool that he did that. 5 years, 228, man. Now the Bucks got to go out and get. I mean, they got some people this offseason. They're starting to build around him.
Drew Holiday.
Do the Bucks finally get? Yeah. Do they get over the hump this year? And they'd have to get by us, obviously. But what do you think, George? Did they get over the hump? At least the Eastern hump. They ran into Miami last year, so.
I mean, they'll still be a competitive team, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be a hard road for them to go through because, now the Brooklyn Nets are are going to be good. Like, it just depends on, like, if they could develop their chemistry, if the Nets could develop their chemistry between Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't see the Bucks, like, beating them because, like, the Nets have all those weapons on their
Yeah.
team. So, I mean, it's gonna be hard. So I'm gonna have to say no, but they are gonna be in the mix on coming out the East. They're still at least gonna be in the
Like a
conversation.
3. You think they'd be like a 3?
Probably like a
Maybe.
3, yeah,
Okay.
at best.
Okay. Gilbert, you agree with that? You think about a 3, 4?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Not unless they can make a big move at the trade deadline and get another superstar or somebody, or even more shooters, then maybe they could overcome that hump and get out the East. But we'll see.
And what and let me add one thing. So to add to that, I love what Giannis said. He said that I want to stay in Milwaukee, like Milwaukee's my home, like everybody loves him in the community. He's not one of these certain players that's gonna like join like the best team or join like another great player. He wants to do it on his own. So he's kind of like old school, like what Kobe did. He wants to play for one franchise no matter what. So I'm glad to see Giannis say that because like now he's competitive. He doesn't want to be the coattail of anybody. He wants to do it his way, and that's what I'm impressed about him about.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I get a lot of respect for him. So he got his big break finally. He got his big break and he got his big bucks. He deserves it. Speaking of breaks, Gilbert, Hornets giving us injury news again. I knew this was going to happen.
Oh man, I know.
You knew this was going to happen the minute you guys signed Gordon Hayward. Talk to me, Gilbert.
I just wish it didn't come this soon. I knew it was gonna happen, but I was kind of hoping that this season would have been like a comeback season for him. But Gordon Hayward, he ended up getting, I believe it was one of his fingers, right? Or
fractured his fifth finger, I guess is what they said.
Yeah, and it sucks because on the court, off the court, Melo and him were really gelling, and they were really he was helping Melo with his game a lot. So now it's gonna, kind of set back the team a little bit, because I don't know. I just felt like this year they really had the chemistry going on. I know it's just preseason, but throughout the preseason they've been looking very good together.
Yeah, I mean, like he said, he can still mentor him and help him. He said he can still help him. Yeah. Let's jump into Houston real quick. We all know we want to talk about this. I was so tempted to talk about this when Kalen was talking about James Harden, but out of respect, I didn't. James Harden, dude, he's the one pushing MFer. Okay, I don't know the actual details in Houston. I don't know what's going on. But, that whole, we talked about when he was in Vegas, and then he had to pass 6 COVID tests when he came back, and he didn't go to the first thing of training camp. Like that, I lost a lot of respect for him when they did that. I don't know if you guys see differently. I would love to see him get traded. Apparently, the Rockets have launched a bigger trade option, people-wise, and I think Ben Simmons was actually one of them for Philadelphia. So George, what kind of package can you put together for Harden?
You mean from the Philadelphia side, right?
Sure. Mainly Philadelphia, because that's where I think he's going.
Well, first and foremost, I mean, James Harden, he's one of the best scorers in the NBA right now. So it'll be really hard. It'll be really hard to replace him. But I think like if they want to get James Harden, I mean, you're gonna have to trade Ben Simmons and then package him with some picks and with a lot of first round picks because James Harden, he's such a talented player. So I mean, nobody could. But then with that, I mean, that's still not enough because it's like, how's Houston going to be a good team? So like, I think from this point on, like once Harden is gone, like I think Houston should blow it up and they should start rebuilding. because I think that's where they're at right now because like James Harden really wants to leave. Like based on like other circumstances, James Harden wants to leave now and he's really pushing to leave. So that's why he didn't show up and that's why like he is what he is right now. So
what do you think, Gilbert? The whole situation.
Yes, at this point of the situation, I just feel like they just gotta find a way to move on from him. I mean, obviously he's not showing up when he's supposed to. So if that was me, if I was the GM of the Rockets, I would find a way to get as much picks as I can. I might even trade them back to the OKC, get some picks from them because they got a gain of picks, and maybe take one of their best players.
like
Maybe
Shea
take
Gilchrist Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Shea Gilchrist Alexander.
And then just rebuild, if anything, because I mean, what else can you do? You're losing your superstar, and you really can't go anywhere from there. Once you lose a player like that, you're not gonna get nothing in. You're not gonna get an exact player like him back. So
I mean, it's not really that bad for Houston because like they did sign John Wall and Boogie Cousins, so it's not that much of a bad drop off. But I think like if you're gonna trade James Harden, try to get some first round picks just so maybe with that, in a couple of years or maybe 3 years, it could be back in the playoff hunt again.
Absolutely,
definitely.
I agree. Speaking of playoffs, we'll just run through this really super quick. LeBron, AD hit the floor. How'd they look? What do you think, George? You think they're ready?
The first game they played, like it shows that they were kind of rusty, and they took 71 games. It was a 71 game off season for them, so like there's gonna be like a little like rustiness and stuff. But then like they kind of picked it up last night. AD scoring 35 points. He was on fire late in that third quarter. LeBron James was doing his thing, like he's doing what LeBron James does. So I think, and then like even though they came back, they had that 21-point comeback last night against the Phoenix Suns. I mean, like I think the Lakers will get it all together by game one. Like LeBron James knows that, AD knows that, and now it's time to like go through that 72 game war with these 29 other teams.
Absolutely. Gilbert, do you see the game also?
Yeah, man. AD and LeBron, man, just one of the best duos in the league right now, man. They just match so well, and they just know how to feed off each other, and the whole team as well. They know what they like, and they know how to go into the game and get the job done. And I really can't say anything else. LeBron gets a lot of backlash because of his age, but he's still holding it down at this point of his career. So you got to give him credit when the credit is due. And
exactly, give him some damn respect.
Like you said
during the championship presentation.
Yes, sir.
And even though he's not MVP, we already know he's an MVP in our eyes because of what he could do at his age. Because there's not a lot of players his age that's that effective. So you can't even name like 3 players.
I agree. You guys want to talk about respect? We kind of talked about this earlier. Name changes to teams. I'm gonna just go through this really quick. The Cleveland Indians are changing their name after 2021. So they're gonna go one more year as the Indians, and then after that they're gonna drop it due to the same thing as the Redskins, same thing as other stuff that's eventually gonna go to the Chiefs, the Blackhawks, people like that. We don't really need to go too into detail on this because we already talked about it.
We don't need to.
Name changes. We'll just do something really super quick, kind of cool. Cleveland, hear me out on this one. Cleveland is home of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Why don't you just revamp the whole freaking team? Not the team, but like the logo, the look, everything, and do something rock related. How badass would that be? They could be, the Slayers, or they could be, the Fender, something guitar related or something rock related, like amplifiers. I don't know, something silly, but it'd be something rock related. I think it'd be cool. And it would relate to, the freaking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's like right there. I think it'd be cool. If not, then
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I think it'll
Cleveland
be cool
baseball
too.
team.
That'll be a
No.
great.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool because like now that's like a huge pivot to the next direction on their team organization. So like I think they should do something like that too.
Yeah, I
Because
think it'd be
you
cool.
can't call a Cleveland like the Cleveland baseball team because like now you
It's
copy like
so
the
stupid.
Washington Redskins when they changed their team to the
But
Washington football team. Like that makes no sense.
but they actually used that name years ago. There's actually documented evidence that they used
Yeah.
that name. So, but I think it's stupid too. I totally agree. Let's get into the stuff that
It's
really
really
matters.
dumb.
The Negro League stats are finally in the MLB record books. It's about damn time. That's all I gotta say about that. You're gonna have, but the cool thing is they're gonna involve them into stats that are already there. So my question or my point is, so many things are gonna change. You got someone like big names like Satchel Paige was one of the best pitchers in the Negro League, not in the Hall of Fame because he was in the Negro League. You had Roy Campanella in the Negro League. You had so many names there. You got Josh Gibson, which was the right-handed Negro League Babe Ruth. Let's go real. Babe Ruth was the Caucasian Josh Gibson. Josh Gibson had over 800 home runs. If they add his records into the MLB, he will be the all-time home run king. Over Barry, over Hank Aaron, over everybody. So with this said, how do you guys feel about it? Is it so freaking long overdue? And why do we think it took so damn long to get them in? George, I'm going to go to you, bro. I have to. What do you think?
It is long overdue. It is long overdue because, they got to give respect to, like, the African Americans that we have, Like, yes, yes, it's like, well, we were – man, like it just goes down to like Black history when we didn't like we had to like work for free. Like nobody was giving us enough credit, even though we follow like the same rules as they did. So like it really kind of like frustrates me because it took this long. Like it shouldn't.
I 100%
So
agree.
I think with this, like it is about that damn time. Like I would use that quote any day of the week when it
I like that. That is a
comes to
hashtag.
Negro League baseball because I'm a Negro League myself. So I mean, like, come on now.
Yeah.
You know,
And
like
it's emotional
like
to
we've
a lot of
been
people.
we've been getting overlooked every single time. So like, yeah, it is emotional for me. So I'm glad they put some respect on the Negro League. So it's just about time because like, these Negro leagues are just as good as like the baseball players that we have today. Just like, and you can make that same argument with the women's because they're just as good as them too. So like I think
Women's Professional League, and
like with all the segregation going on, like I think it was long overdue. If
it
ask
wasn't,
me.
honestly, if you look into the history books, I'll go to Gilbert in a second. If it wasn't for the Negro Leagues, you wouldn't have Roy Campanella. You wouldn't have had Jackie Robinson. You wouldn't have had Larry Doby. Larry Doby, the first African American in the American League, and Jackie Robinson, I'm going to put in finger quotes, the first African American in baseball. There's one that's apparently Fleet Walker Toledo, 1800.
Exactly.
You can go back and look at that.
And he's actually from my hometown.
Okay. Yeah, he's from out here.
No, I was gonna say, and he's actually from my home. Like Jackie Robinson's actually from my hometown, Pasadena. He went to John Muir High School.
Yeah, exactly. And he was
so that's how I know about Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, he went to UCLA.
And we have a park named after him too in Pasadena as well.
There you go. And then,
I like that movie that he has.
42.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you got people like Bob Gibson, a World Series champion. He wouldn't have been there. And then, like I said, Josh Gibson, 800 home runs. That guy has to be in the Hall of Fame. He has to be. Gilbert.
Oh, yes. No question. No question.
Yeah.
That's something you cannot overlook.
Absolutely. Gilbert.
No,
and
in my
another
opinion,
thing before you jump in,
my
Gilbert,
opinion is
Latinos also would not be in baseball if it wasn't for the Negro Leagues. Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. And like George said, it's about time. But I feel like this is long overdue. They should have done this a long time ago, you know. And um, I was seeing the other day how LeBron, you know, when he made that big move to go to the Heat, like that kind of put ownership on players and superstars. And I feel like back then these players didn't get enough credit when they decided to go to the MLB or when they were doing all these home runs, like you said. It's about time, man. They gave some recognition.
Absolutely.
Some
Oh,
recognition.
let me add to that story about LeBron because this like I heard something interesting this week on why LeBron James went to the Heat. Like I kind of didn't like the move. I would admit like I didn't like what LeBron did, but I understand why he did it because there's like certain teammates talking about him, talking about his mom and everything. You remember about like the Delonte West situation and everything. And then like, at the same time, they had the team had trouble like attracting like other free agents to go to Cleveland. So LeBron James like kind of got tired of it. Okay, where do we go from here? Because like I just don't see this happening. And then like I'm having like all these turmoil situations with certain teammates. So then he had to go to Miami because like he won, and then like he didn't even know how to win. So Dwayne Wade had to like show him how to win. And Dwayne Wade has been his homeboy the moment they stepped into the league together. So I think Dwayne Wade did a good job of showing him what it takes to win a championship. And now he had that championship pedigree. He wanted to go back to Cleveland to win it because like that's what he owed. So much respect to what LeBron James did. I just at the time I didn't see why he did it, but now I know why he actually did
Absolutely.
that. So
we got about 30. I want to get this done within the next 30 minutes. We still got 2 leagues to go through. So I'm going to go and just shoot through these deals that just went down. You guys need a thumbs up, thumbs down, laugh, smile. Oh, what the F? You know, whatever. Angels. Finally, shut up. I didn't even start yet. Angels got left-handed sidewinder Alex Claudio from Texas. I'm happy for that because that guy kills us. He always has killed us. So I'm happy we got him. We got a lefty. But we lost Kenyon Middleton, fireballer Kenyon Middleton in the process. He's going to Seattle. Good kid, does a lot of charity for us. So I'm happy for him. Mike Zunino, who killed it in Tampa this year behind the plate, is going back to Tampa. And former World Series champion Michael Wacha, who pitched alongside Adam Wainwright when the Cardinals won their second championship, most recent championship, he's going to Tampa. So Tampa just got another good pitcher. And they're already the AL champions. It's freaking crazy. Speaking of Tampa, we got more Tampa news. Former Tampa outfielder, everybody says he looks like Mike Trout, Hunter Renfroe is heading to Boston. Power hitting right-hander. You can't be in a better park than Boston. It's a bandbox. It's only like 315 to left field, but the wall's high. You know, Renfroe's going to kill it. I don't know how you guys feel about players coming back to teams. I know with Gasol possibly come back to Lakers and stuff. Greg Holland, the former closer of the Kansas City Royals when they won the World Series, is getting brought back as well. So I don't know how you guys feel about bringing a player back. If they help your team, they help your team, right? You know, if you want to bring them back,
Right.
Get like a 1-year deal, so it wasn't that bad. Now we'll spend a little time on this one. G might know who. Do you know who Nolan Arenado is, George? Plays for the Rockies, third baseman. Superstar, all-star. Okay, well, he's like
doesn't ring a bell.
He is the third baseman of third basemen this last couple of years.
Oh,
I could throw somebody out from the foul line on his knees at first base. It's nuts. Okay, so potential mega deal. They haven't put the people, but it's between the Rockies and these freaking Mets, man. They just got James McCann from the Chicago White Sox, big deal last week. And now they're going to go after Nolan Arenado. The Mets mean business, bro. Now, are you think they're just trying to step up to the Yankees, or like is this little brother trying to stand up to big brother? What is it, Gilbert?
Oh man! Every time I think about the Mets and the Yankees, they remind me of the Clippers and the Lakers, man.
Yeah,
Battle New York.
Yeah,
Battle New York,
they just got a new GM, so he's spending the money, man. He's even going
that's
after
what the
Trevor
Knicks need
Bauer.
to do too.
Yeah, he's going after Trevor Bauer,
But yeah,
too. So,
I mean, the Mets, they mean business. If they could get Trevor Bauer too, oh wow, you gotta watch out
God.
for them this year, man.
They got
It's gonna
McCann.
be dangerous.
Well, McCann's an all-star catcher. They just got him. They're going after Bauer, and they're trying to trade for Nolan Arenado. So they're going to be scary, and they can win that division. That division is winnable. The Braves are awesome, but there's going to be wild card teams coming out of that division, the AL East. It's not going to be a problem. Speaking of divisions, let's jump in the NFL real quick. We got a couple division champions. Last week, the Green Bay Packers clinched the NFC West or North, which everybody saw coming. The Chiefs clinched the AFC West. We lost Gilbert. AFC West. And then the one that bothered me is the superstar Steelers backed into the playoffs last week. They lost. They lost bad to Buffalo, but yet they still got in the playoffs because Miami lost. So they show videos of them still celebrating and stuff. Do you believe in celebrating even though you lose to get in? Or should you have to win and then you get to celebrate?
No, because yes, you won. Like, yes, you have like a great record, but it's never a good time to celebrate unless you win the championship.
Yeah, well, not even the
I feel like
championship,
if you
just the game in general. He lost. They
or
lost.
just
They
the
got
game in general.
crushed. They got crushed. And
I
then
don't think it
Buffalo-
was a good time for them to celebrate at all.
Yeah, I don't believe in.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. With Eagles, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts out of Alabama.
He's a real.
I like Jalen Hurts. He got his first NFL win, and Peterson's gonna stick with him. You think that's cool? Good idea. You got the most, and it's so funny because everybody's hashtag most expensive backup quarterback, Carson Wentz. You know, so he's making those multi-millions.
I mean, I think it was a good move for them to stay with Jalen Hurts because he's been that great quarterback and he clearly outplayed Carson Wentz this year. Carson Wentz has been like a horrible quarterback throughout the season.
Right.
And something's going on in that locker room for him to like have these bad subpar performances. So I think going with Jalen Hurts for their future quarterback is pretty it was a pretty good move only because the Eagles now have a better chance of winning games. Even though it's too little too late for them.
Yeah, I kind of
I mean, like, it is a bad decision, so I think they have somewhat of a chance for them to.
Yeah, well, like Coach said last week, if you don't produce, you don't play.
Exactly, and he's clearly not producing, so he has to like sit on the bench and have Jalen Hurts play. And then even so, it's like we know eventually Jalen Hurts is going to be that starting quarterback within like the next couple of years. So like I think it was just early for him to like just produce, and now he's going to take that quarterback role by storm in Philadelphia.
Yeah, and Alabama's killing it with their quarterbacks right now. Freaking Tua Tagovailoa is killing it in Miami. You know, so I'm pulling for him. I've always liked Tua. Damn it, Gilbert got off before I got to make fun of the Cowboys. All right, well the Cowboys, they're as bad as they're doing. Their coach apparently is not in jeopardy. Coach Mike McCarthy is not in jeopardy, which surprises me because their record is horrendous. So it is what it is.
I think I think part of that reason why is his first year of coaching. So you usually get fired after like your second time, your third time you're coaching. So but I don't know.
Yeah, with them.
We'll see what the Cowboys do at the end of the season.
Yeah, we had a historical matchup this past week. I think it was on Monday. The Ravens and the Browns, or might have been Thursday, but it was the Ravens and the Browns.
It was Thursday.
Monday.
It was Thursday.
Was this Thursday?
It was Monday.
I'm not sure. Okay, he's coming back. Oh, now I gotta make fun of the Cowboys again. I gotta make fun of the Cowboys again. Gilbert's back. So,
sorry about that, fellas.
We're making fun of the Cowboys.
Your phone died.
I'm just kidding. Mike.
I had to go do something real quick.
Mike McCarthy's job is safe. You guys still suck, but Mike McCarthy's job is safe. Just so you know. I just had to throw that out there. Okay, let's go to our next story. 25 years.
Dang,
25 years. 25 years it's been since the original Cleveland Browns left Cleveland, went to Baltimore, became the Ravens, became the powerhouse that they are. They played this past week, and I hope you guys got to see this game. This game was freaking epic, and they did the whole history.
Oh, yeah, I love that game.
47-42. Yeah. But you know what's crazier? they said the books in Vegas got totally screwed because it was 45-42, and then Cleveland tried to do those 10 laterals or whatever they did, and then they got a safety,
And
so
it
it
didn't work.
totally effed up the
And
books.
it didn't work.
Yeah, well, it effed up the books because you had to add 2 more points. So people lost a lot of money. People were pissed. Okay, we're almost done with the NFL. Possible 17-game season. I'm trying to get done by 2:30. Possible 17-game season. What do you guys think? Yay or nay? 17-game season, Gilbert. What do you think? With the
no, I don't know. Man.
17 games for what? 17 games for
NFL
what?
17 games, like actual 17. Right now there's 16 with the 1 bye. So my guess it would be 17 with 1 bye. So it's 1 extra game, which I have no idea why.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the difference makes, man.
Yeah, it doesn't make that much of a difference.
Unless if it's like a playoff
20 or something like that, Maybe I'll go 5 extra games. Okay, then you really got to think.
Yeah,
about it.
if it's around 20, then it's like okay, they're really pushing it.
Yeah, and they changed the playoff bracket this year.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the same to me.
They used to do 1 and 2 would get a bye, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 would face off, or 3, 4, 5, and 6 would face off, and then the 2 lowest seeds would face the 2 top. But now it's only number 1 gets a bye. Everybody else has to face off. It's cool. I like it, but it's gonna be weird. Speaking of playoffs, apparently we talked about this, George, a couple weeks ago. Should the NFL have a bubble for playoffs? Apparently they don't want to. What do you think about that?
I don't think there's enough room to have a bubble for NFL because like look how many players there are on a team. There's about like 50 plus players on each team. And then there's 32 teams in the NFL. So like I don't think it'll work out pretty well only because there's like a lot of people. It worked out for NBA because there's only like 15 players in a 15 players on the team, but then like only 8 went inside the bubble. So I think NBA did the right thing and did it the right way. But I just don't see NFL doing that with their organization. I just don't see how that would work out.
Gilbert, what do you think? We were running out of time. What do you think?
I mean, if I was the owner of the NFL, I would definitely try to do something with the bubble. But
bro, you know who the commissioner is.
But where can you go though? That's what
Goodell's a pushover, bro. Goodell's a pushover.
You gotta find a way, man. It's like didn't they have like 2 football stadiums right there at the bubble? They were.
But then, like, you got to know that for each team, there's like about like 50 people. That's already a lot of people.
Right.
So you got to throw that into account.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
but the thing is,
but what about at least just for like the conference? The 2 conference matchups or like division round, conference round, and then Super Bowl. Like you could do it there.
I think it could pay like a little dividends because like now there's like fewer teams going inside the bubble. Like I think if NFL has to do it, yes, it will have to be like at least like 4 at most being in the conference. So I think like with that bubble, it'll work out. It just wouldn't work out if it's like more than like 6 teams going inside the bubble.
Yeah, I think they could do it. They should do it. And last but not least, future Hall of Famer Drew Brees, who has been injured the last 3 weeks, I think it is. He's coming back. Yeah, so watch out for them Saints.
With 13 broken ribs.
Yeah, man, and the lung too. It was messed up. He's coming back this Sunday. Keep an eye out. That guy's gonna kill it.
Drew Brees is a real GOAT, man.
Yeah, he's amazing. I love Drew Brees. I liked him when he was in San Diego.
They played the Chiefs this weekend, right?
Huh?
They're playing the Chiefs this weekend, right?
I think so. That game's gonna be beast.
I believe so.
Freaking beast.
And San Diego should have kept them too.
Yeah, but they didn't. So Sunday's gonna be wild, guys. I mean, you're gonna have.
Yeah, I mean.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, George.
No, I was gonna say like I love Drew Brees. Like I love him like coming like I would love him coming back, but I just don't think it's a good idea for him to come back because like now 13 broken ribs. Now like if if I was like the other team, like I'll go after him. I'll blitz
Yeah.
him every time, knowing that he had those broken ribs. So
You know.
I just don't think it's a good idea for him to like play football for the rest of the season because his team is already in the playoffs. So like, why would you want to like risk him like having another injury based on like the injury that he had? So I would keep him. I wouldn't have him play until the playoffs start.
Yeah,
That's
and
it.
they're one of the higher seeds too, if I believe so. But I
Yeah,
don't
so
know.
why would you play
Drew's a
him?
fighter, man.
It's not worth him playing.
Yeah, but Drew's a fighter, man. He likes going
I
through.
agree with you guys.
Yeah, Drew's
He
going.
is, but then like the thing is he's also up in age too. So like I mean you gotta like
Preserve him.
put that into account. So you just wanna like load like I think that's a good time for him to load manage until like the playoffs start.
Yeah, we're talking injuries
Definitely.
here. We're talking injuries. I guarantee you, hopefully there won't be any major injuries this Sunday at TLC, which is like one of the more brutal matches that WWE has. Before I jump into WWE TLC, I want to give a shout out to all the couples that are having babies in wrestling. My God, Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins had their daughter. John Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose, and his wife are having a baby, and now Cody Rhodes and his wife Brandy are having a baby as well. Just throwing that out there. Shout out to them. Okay, TLC is this Sunday. I believe it's at 4. Might be at 5, but I believe it's at 4. You might know some of these names, George, because a lot of them are from like our era, and they've returned. But these matches are pretty good. G, you'll recognize a lot of these matches because you watch Raw and SmackDown. Raw Tag Team title, you got the Hurt Business, which is Cedric Alexander, the younger one, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin, future Hall of Famer Shelton Benjamin, taking on the New Day, but obviously first ballot Hall of Famers, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. Raw Tag Team titles on the line. Who do you got in that match?
Is that me or George?
That's you.
You could go GA.
I
George
definitely
doesn't
gotta
play off of us. I don't think he knows, or he doesn't really watch wrestling. But it's a big pay-per-view, so I'm promoting it.
I don't know, maybe the Hurt Business right now, they're the ones with championships, right?
They're on fire right now. Well, they have the United States title right now, but they've already beaten the New Day twice on non-titles, which means they're more than likely going to win the titles. So I think they are, if you ask me. So
yeah, I think they might pull it off like once again and get the championship.
Yeah, and then this next match is for the women's tag team championships, and this one has a funny story because they're building up Lana. So I don't know if she had a legit injury or if it was just a kayfabe injury, but Lana has been built up to be this big baby face since Rusev went to AEW. Lana, they've had to repackage her. They had to figure out what they were going to do with her, so they made her this big baby face, and she was teaming up with Asuka to take on Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax for the women's tag titles, and Lana got injured on Raw, big time, like bad.
Yeah, now she's out.
Bad, but yes, she's out. Now we got to go and think who's been gone for a while. You got Asuka can pick anybody she wants. Yeah, I got Charlotte Flair. This is what I think. I got 3 names: Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, who should be coming up out of NXT any day now, as she fought Charlotte Flair
Mandy Rose
last year. Mandy Rose is injured. Was injured. I don't think it'll be Mandy. I think it's going to be a huge name, like you said. I think it's going to be Charlotte. I think it's going to be Rhea, or I think it's going to be the NXT champion Io Shirai. Those are the 3 I think it's going to be. Either way, I think Shayna and Nia are going to finally turn on each other. What happened? Yeah, that's what I think. And then the SmackDown Women's title is on the line.
Tomorrow.
What? Yeah, we'll have to see tomorrow. SmackDown Women's title is on the line. Carmella against Sasha. These guys, I believe they never fought before. This should be a good match. Any match that Sasha Banks is in is a good match. And Carmella is a 2-time money.
Yes, it is.
So she's good too. Another match I'm looking forward to. I love Kevin Owens. I used to watch him in the Indies when he was Kevin Steen. I love him on the mic. I think he's gold on the mic. And now he's going to face Roman Reigns one-on-one. That match is going to make money. It's going to be a good match, Universal title. Another match that you guys might remember now that they're bringing back. I have no idea how they're going to do it because Randy Orton always wears a Speedo and like nothing else. Firefly Inferno match. Remember the Inferno match? Kane and Undertaker.
No.
Attitude Era. Yeah. But
Yes.
the Fiend Bray Wyatt taking on Randy Orton. So obviously the Fiend's gonna lose because they're not gonna burn Randy Orton unless he wears like a full camo outfit or something. They're not gonna burn Randy Orton. So I think Bray Wyatt's gonna lose, and that'll push for a match at Royal Rumble, which is next month. Royal Rumble's coming. Main event TLC, which is tables, ladders, and chairs. AJ Styles against Drew McIntyre. I am looking forward to this one. AJ is a future Hall of Famer, been champion everywhere he's gone, and Drew McIntyre is on top of the world right now, dude. And this match is going to be a ladder match, and I think it's going to be one of the better ladder matches we've ever seen. That's just my intake. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
You think that's so?
I think Drew McIntyre is definitely the face of Raw,
Mhm.
and AJ Styles is definitely a legend in the not only WWE but in wrestling history.
Yeah, absolutely. New
He's
Japan.
been in TNA. He's been all over. So
Japan, all over the place. So check out the pay-per-view 4:00 tomorrow, WWE Network. If you don't have WWE Network, you can get WWE Network and you'll get this pay-per-view for free, which is always awesome. Before we bounce out, Royal Rumble is going to be next month. I think I talked to George about this, and then we talked about that The Rock would possibly be returning to face Roman Reigns. I think we did this on our first episode of the show, our first the revamp.
Yeah.
But there's rumors The Rock is super busy right now. So I think they're pushing to bring Goldberg back, and Goldberg's going to face Roman Reigns. Because right now Roman Reigns is doing the whole I'm the tribal leader, I'm the best, I'm the head of the table, blah, 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 blah. Perfect to bring back The Rock. They're actually related. Bring back The Rock. Rock wins the Royal Rumble. Rock wins the title at WrestleMania. That's what they should do. Not going to do that. I have a feeling they're not going to do that. So the rumor is now they're going to go a different way because Roman Reigns does the spear. That's his finisher, is the spear. Goldberg did the spear when we were like 12, so I guess it's going to be like a spear versus spear. I don't know. I don't like the story. I don't like the idea, but that's the way I think they're going. So, but it is what it is, gentlemen. And you know what? We almost made it to 2:30. Holy crap. Awesome show. We covered so much crap. My brain's going to explode. We went through college football. We went through soccer. We went through women's basketball, women's WNBA history, a bunch of MMA fights. We checked on Keontae Johnson in Florida. Tiger Woods and his little boy got to do stuff together. It was awesome. We got some I found out the Boxing Hall of Fame. That's going to be really cool as well. Mayweather's going to beat the living crap out of Jake Paul, and I can't wait for that. That's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We had drama in the NHL, drama in the NBA, hell, drama in the MLB. There's drama everywhere. Save it for your mama. Anyway, more than likely we're going to have
drama everywhere, man.
Seriously, right? We're going to have more divisions clinched in football more than likely by the end of Sunday, if not Monday. So that's going to be cool. And then we got TLC, man. We got so much coming and so much more on the way. Make sure you guys check this out. This episode will be premiering at 5:00 on youtube.com, All Sports Media Team. Make sure you check it out. G had to bounce. Got to go do daddy duties like usual. On behalf of myself, Double R Ricky Rodriguez, much love to the dude, George Ochola. I know we're both falling asleep over here. We stuck around. Thank you so much. Get some rest. Be safe. Wear a mask.
No problem.
So have a great holiday. And also remember, whether you're trying to score in life or climb the ladder of success, always reach for the title. We out.